Om Jayati Jagati Mahaya Yasya Kaya Davaste Vachana Rachana Metam Kevalam Chakalaya Dhruvapadamapi Yato Yat Prapato Dhruvoyam Sakala Kushala Patram Brahmaputram Natosmi. On the last Friday, we completed the first chapter according to me, first chapter of the Narada Bhakti Sutras, actually 33 sutras. And it was about the real nature of bhakti. And then Narada told us in three different ways. The innermost nature of bhakti, the lakshanas or the signs of bhakti in our life, and then by comparative study of the different paths to the achievement of our goal, he showed us the real nature of bhakti. And toward the end of that, we saw that in Narada's opinion, and he quotes his guru, I'll repeat it here. Some people have asked that in some editions, the word is Brahma Kumara, singular, and the meaning given is Narada. Now, Narada, who calls himself Narada in Sutra 19, Naradastu, why should call himself as the indirect name, Brahma Kumar? There is no rhyme or reason in this. And then I have several editions, the Gita Press edition, and that edition which I told you about Sharma from Shravan Belgaon. They have given plural, Brahma Kumara Ha. And one more point I want to tell here. In the third sutra, Amruta Swarupacha, and in the 83rd sutra, he has given the list of so many gurus, and the top of that list is Kumar. So it is evident that we are dealing with the same Narad, who studied everything, who learned everything from his guru Sanat Kumar. And I told you another fact that day, that when there appears to be difference of opinion, the tradition is to recall your guru. And so in the guru's name, Narada showed us that there is no quarrel between knowledge and bhakti, and they are the obverse and reverse of the same coin. One looks at it from the analytical point of view, one looks at it from the feeling, heart point of view. I wish to quote one bright example on this, very bright example. And that is about Sri Ramakrishna's disciple, Mahapurush Maharaj. My Guruji used to go to him, and you may say there was a mutual hobby, that he would read out to him the seventh mantra of the Mandukya Upanishad. The nature of Brahman or nature of realization, which can never be described, is best described in the seventh mantra of the Mandukya Upanishad throughout the literature of the world. And why that was the habit? He would read out and Mahapurush Maharaj would explain. And while explaining, he used to become that. All the signs of his body showed the Turiya Brahman. The very body structure, I will not describe in detail, but the whole body structure, the whole body, I may tell a little, he used to stand up. The cloth used to drop down from his body because there is no friction, there is no body consciousness. And his chest would become red, his eyes would look upwards, and he would become absolutely steady, as we read in Narada, that Stabda Bhavati. Once, and it used to happen again and again. To see that was a great thing in my Guruji's life. And to express that, Mahaprabhuji also liked it. Now, on one such occasion, out of the many, many such occasions, there was to be Durga Puja in Belur Math. Those who have seen even today that structure stands, the old shrine, and what is called these days the Math office. In front of the Math office, there is a compound. And there, in that veranda of the Math office and that compound, used to be the Durga Puja Pandal. And Mahapurush Maharaj room, which was that Swamiji's building, if you have seen, and if you climb that steps, the left side first room was Mahapuruji's room. Mahapuruji's things are kept in a different room, that is old shrine bedroom. But Mahapuruji used to stay in the room, as I mentioned now. You climb the steps and the left side. Those I have seen in the olden times. Nirvananand used to stay there. Later on, Ram Gopal Maharaj used to stay there, that room. Now, Durga Puja was to be performed. And the brahmachari who was to perform the puja, as per his tradition or as per his sentiment, he came to Mahapuruji, touched his feet, and in Bengal he said, Maharaj, এখন মায়ের পূজা হবে, আপনার অনুমতি চাই. Maharaj, now there will be mother's worship. I have come to take your permission. My Maharaj tells me, repeatedly has told me this thing. He says, not even a fraction of a second. The whole scene was transformed. And in place of that Lakshana of the Turiya Brahman, the Ashtasattvika Vikaras came on Mahapuruji. The hair stood on end, tears in his eyes. In the Turiya Lakshana is speaking at stop. Now speaking in what we call the Gadagada Vani. That means little comes out, little does not come out, then again it comes out in that fashion. And he said, Mayar Puja Ramaranamati, Mayar Puja Ramaranamati. Mother's worship, and you take my permission. And then, uttering the word Ma, 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 he started moving toward, behind that room is a veranda. And if you stand in that veranda, narrow balcony. And if you stand in that veranda, you can see the mother's puja going on. So Mahapuruji started moving toward the veranda. And it was a problem for his sevakas. I told you, the cloth was not on the body. And below public is there. So the two sevakas, holding the dhoti from two ends, are walking in front, and Mahapuruji going behind them. Then he comes to the veranda, looks at the mother's image, and says, Ma, 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 several times. And then he controls himself, checks himself, and comes back to the room. My Guru used to tell, one who has seen this, if 1,000 people come to him to tell there is difference between Jnana and Bhakti, or there is contradiction, will he agree? Like that he used to say. One who has seen this scene, the man who is expressing the science of the absolute knowledge of Brahman, and within a second, fraction of a second used to say, just his feet being touched, and the brahmachari telling, Akun Mayar Puja Agnamati Chai. The whole thing transformed in no time at all. And Ashtasattvik Vikaras, which are the Vikaras of Bhakti, horripilation, shaking of the body, speech becomes indistinct, tears in the eyes of joy. And he walks, he forgets what his body and what the clothing is. And he walks toward the veranda and says, Mayar Puja Amaranumati. And then he stands there and says, Ma, Ma, Ma. My Maharaj used to say, one who has seen this, if 1,000 people come to him and tell there is contradiction or any difference between knowledge and bhakti, will he agree? Like that. So that was the conclusion of the first chapter. Now, it is also clear in the first chapter that the bhakti which Narada is teaching is derived directly from the nature of God. Amrita Swarupa, Asmin Parama Prema Rupa, and all the description of the achievement, yad labdva, yad prapta, yad gyatva, everything shows that that is the absolute nature of the bhakti. And in the last section, he has also said, Ishwarasyapi avimana dveshitva daini priyatva. So from the nature of God, this bhakti is derived, not from man's brain or mind. So this is the most natural bhakti. Kamal, please correct it. Somebody has become the presenter. But we remove this. Somebody will remove. Yeah. You are listening to me, getting my voice?
Yes, we are getting your voice marks. Om Mandal is presenting. Can someone tell him?
All right, are you getting me?
Yeah,
Ah,
we are
yes.
able
Now
to
it
hear
has,
you.
it has come back. So it is very natural bhakti. Real bhakti is very natural. Now, but the fact stands that it is not in our life today, not expressed in our life today. And now there may be two different reasons. One is that we have our own bhakti, which Narada will take up after Sutra 56. Or you have no bhakti today. So this bhakti is a flow, as I told you, not a particular stage, but we are missing that flow in our life. So this bhakti is to be achieved. I'll repeat my words. हम भक्ति कर रहे हैं. This bhakti is not to be done. It has to be achieved. We have to achieve that flow in life. And now, how to achieve? Something natural, how to achieve? The only way is, though it is natural, there are obstacles. There are obstructions. And when we remove these obstructions, automatically that flow will come to us. As we have seen before, the magnet is always pulling the needle. But if the needle is covered with mud, it does not get that attraction. It is not doing anything. It is just cleansing itself, and the attraction is felt. So Narada Bhakti primarily is the attraction felt by us. We may say, I am loving God or whatever you like to call it. But the fact is that we are being pulled by God. That is the Narada Bhakti. And there are obstructions. So now in the second chapter, according to my division, the topic going on is still real bhakti. Huh? But now, how to achieve that real bhakti is being described by Narada. So the name of the second chapter is given as Bhakti Sadhanani. Sadhana, plural, means and methods of achieving that bhakti. Please don't translate sadhana as practice. And it is not sadhana here, sadhanani. Sadhana, from the word sadhana, plural is sadhanani. Sadhana means the means. So what are the various means of achieving this bhakti? That is the name of the first section. The second chapter name is Bhakti Sadhana. And please do not translate that sadhana as practice. I told you, this bhakti is not to be practiced, it has to be achieved. So sadhana refers to some sadhya, something to be achieved. And the method to achieve is called sadhana. Sadhanani is means. Sadhana is the method. So the method of achieving that sadhana is being described, out of which the first section is the means to achieve that. Okay? Now we proceed. Sutra 34. Tasya sadhanani gayanti acharyaha. Remember the contrast with the second section of the first chapter. Then lakshanani vachyante nana matavedat. The lakshanas were described by mouth and different because the minds are different. Here it does not talk of any difference, first of all. And does not say vachyante, gayanti. What is this gayanti? Bhagavad Gita, you know. Gita means a song, Gita. Why it is a song? And in the 13th chapter of the Gita, Bhagavan tells that is not telling something new. That which is sung by the rishis in the Vedas. Rishimir Bahuda Gitam. So there is something which makes this. Now, let us not distinguish between prose and poetry and like that. Singing is the expression of the heart. Now, when the mind works, this division comes. Puja Dishu, Katha Dishu, etc. When the heart is working, a song comes out. When the heart is working, a song comes out. Whatever comes out of the heart is called a song. And I showed you the similarity. The Gita itself and 13th chapter of the Gita telling about Vedas. So, and no mention of any difference here. And Acharyaha, that which he told in the first Sutra Vakyasyama, on behalf of this Acharya, he is telling us. And the list he gives in the Sutra 83. But here he refers to them in plural. The meaning is that they are ekamat on this. No difference of opinion here. All the acharyas sing of the sadhana, of the means for achieving bhakti. Tasya sadhanani gayanti acharyaha. Now we come to Sutra 35. And here the word tu comes again. Narada Bhakti Sutra is filled with this word tu. Because at every step we see that we have our own ideas and which are not leading us anywhere. As soon as we are confronted with the problem that we have to achieve this bhakti, what will be normal? Normal means abnormal, not in normal. But here a question was asked of me. If you are doing japa and meditation, is it included in Naradi Bhakti? If you do anything, it is a doing. So Narada is telling us. Now about this point, let me express something more. These days, in the Ramakrishna mission, this word Jap Dhyan has become very common. We get Mother's Vani also on that, and all the disciples talking like that. The current gurus talking like that, these old sadhus talking like that we must practice Japa and Dhyan. But from my Guruji, I never heard this word. What word I used to hear? Dhyan Bhajan. Dhyan Bhajan. That means meditation with devotion. Japa may be a step or part for that. I have never once heard the word Jap Dhyan from him. Now, I thought this is particular for my Guruji. But when I read Shri Krishna, the great master in original in Bengali, this very word occurs there. There also we do not get Jap Dhyan, we get Dhyan Bhajan several times in Leela Prasanga. So I understood immediately that within Thakur's disciples, this was the current word. And that is what my Guruji is telling me. I referred to this because the question was asked about Japa. I am not denying the importance of Japa, please. But Bhakti is to be achieved means obstructions are to be removed. This you must remember. If bhakti is a natural thing, depending upon our real nature, depending upon the nature of God, if you like to call it, it must be only the removal of obstructions. And so with the two, this sutra starts 35. We are told that two is to be taken in the beginning. Tat two, but that. Tasya sadhanani gayanti acharya, but that. Vishaya tyagat, sangat tyagat cha. We expect how many hours we should sing bhajan, how many hours we should do japa, how many hours we should meditate, no mention of that. We'll mention something in the next sutra. But the primary means of achieving this bhakti is to remove the obstructions. We are attached to Vishayas. We as subjects are attached to the objects. And Narada Bhakti demands we should not be subjects. We should be the shadows of the reality. Reality is one without a second. It is the reality of the subject as well as the reality of the object. And it has no the subject-object division in it. And that flow we have to attain. And to attain that flow, we should examine ourselves and see where the obstructions lie. And the first obstruction we notice, or Narada notices, is that we are attached to objects. Attached to objects which for us is like enjoyment. Vishaya Tyaga. Now this is an important thing. People will say how to give up all the objects, how to leave, how to. All the objects are not to be given up. But the objects about which we feel the sense of enjoyment, we must give it up. Otherwise, bhakti will not develop. So the bhakti which is very natural and yet is not in us due to some obstructions. The first obstruction is, now I will tell you what are the Vishaya. Our own body is a Vishaya and we are attached to that. Why we are attached to our father, mother, brother, sister? Because of attachment to the body. Our mind, our ideas is another thing to which we are attached. And our attachment to friends and others are due to our mind. And we are attached to this eating or that eating or this dressing or that dressing. Because we are attached to them as enjoyment, objects of enjoyment. Nobody denies the necessity of living in the world. All the objects will be there. Your indriyas will be there. In one sutra, Narad told us that don't keep anything as your support. Here is saying don't keep anything. Attachment, I will describe now. If you do something once, all right, when you want to repeat that thing, it becomes attachment. Actually, Narad Sutra are based on Gita. Jayato Vishayan Punsa Sangastheshopajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kama Kamat Krudo Vijayate. Second chapter, Sita Pragya Lakshana. Dhyana is not meditation there. Eh? We are not meditating upon objects. Thinking of something second time or repeatedly is called dhyana. Thinking of something second time or repeatedly is called dhyana. And if you do this, attachment grows. That is what Gita tells us. There is this drum or tabla in front of us. We hit it once, some sound came. We hit it again and again. That becomes addiction. Now everything in this world, people are addicted to drugs or this or that or that. Once you take, second time you repeat, gone. And how will bhakti be done? How will the magnet pull this needle? This is the mud covering the needle. So you don't have to do anything to get that bhakti. You have to remove something. And the first thing to be removed is the things which you enjoy. Now this word has come so common in this world. My Guru used to shudder at the utterance of the word enjoy. Enjoy means subject enjoying the object. You be happy, you relish that thing, you are always joyful. Why you enjoy? So, where the enjoyment sense comes, that we have to avoid. Vishaya Tyaga. But even after giving up the Vishaya, Gita has told us, Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehina rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. You have given up the objects, but the tendency toward the object has not gone. Attachment to that object has not gone. Though we may not enjoy things. Out of, Swamiji has said in many places, our morality is social morality or police morality. Or we want to control, we have so many traditions and all that, so particular Vishayas we are not taking. I will tell you a very funny thing. In Maharashtra, three things: garlic, onion, and brinjal are not eaten or touched during the rainy season. Not at all. The Orthodox Maharashtrian will not eat or cook anything with garlic, onion, or brinjal during rainy season. The reason is something hygienic because they produce gas and wind during anyway. But it is in a religious form. Now we want to adhere to that. It starts from the Ashada Shukla Ekadashi. On the Navami day, the Maharashtrians religiously celebrate Kande Navami, the Navami for onions, because we will not be able to eat onion for 4 months. So make so many things out of onion and eat on the Navami day religiously. So our attachment to onion has not gone. So Narada is telling, you must give up the objects and you must give up the attachment to the objects. The tendency to get closer to the objects must be given up. Then bhakti will shine. Bhakti, which is the nature of ourselves, bhakti, which is the nature of our reality, which is God, bhakti, which is natural in us, is not being expressed because of our attachment to objects of enjoyment and attach the objects and their attachment, both things. So give up Vishaya Tyagat, Sangat Tyagat cha, and also Sangat Tyag. It's not complete picture. First step Narada has told us. If you want to achieve Narada's bhakti, if you want to join that flow, you have to give up objects and attachment to the objects of enjoyment. Then we are asking, but tell us how many hours we should meditate or do bhajan. Narada says, read the 36. Avyavritta bhajanat. Avyavritta bhajanat. Vyavritta means circumscribed. Avyavritta means not circumscribed. Narada is saying, don't ask me how many hours. Don't put a limit to your bhajan. Bhajan means anything done out of devotion is called bhajan. Huh? Bhajan is not singing. Dhyan bhajan does not mean you have to sing. Dhyan with devotional attitude. So anything done out of devotion is called bhajan. So many things are there. Japa is there. Puja is there. We have seen that. Katha is there. Meditation is there. Reading of Bhakti books is there. How many things are there? So any one of these things is allowed. If you start doing one thing for 24 hours, you will become mad. So he's not asking to do one thing. Do anything which out of devotion. Don't circumscribe them. Don't ask me morning and evening. Morning and evening are told because they are suitable times and as a compulsory thing. There is a funny story on this. In the Brahma Samaj, which Swami Vivekananda was a member, they used to prescribe meditation morning and evening. Now there is a song by Brahma Samaj. In this we say that let us merge into God whole day. And Narendra was singing. Sri Ramakrishna says, hey, don't sing like that. Say, let us remember God morning and evening. What you are not doing, why you are saying that? So he pointed out that this limitation should not be there. So that is now. After Vishet-tyagat and Sangat-tyagat, then Narada comes to this. Don't ask me. Why keep a limit? No, he is not telling do it 24 hours. Huh? And he is not telling to do some one particular thing for all the time. Whenever possible, you do something out of devotion to God. That is the second thing. First thing is give up vishayas and attachment to vishayas. Second thing, you do something out of devotion without keeping a limit on that. No limits. Morning and evening, fine. And after, there are some funny cases. Especially in the business community, I'm not believing any community. Huh? 2 hours he is doing puja. 2 hours, you can't meet him. And then he goes to the shop and starts cheating people. No. Whole day you should be filled with devotion. Once I told and people liked it, that here we don't pass with 35% marks or 33% marks. 100% are required. So let your whole life be filled with devotion. I will tell you certain things. I have seen some ladies in UP, I remember very well. They have a Krishna shrine in their house. And whole day they are busy making clothes for that Krishna, decorating Krishna with screens and flowers. All that is out of devotion only. Cook for Krishna, do something. So now that is Krishna. If you are thinking of yourself, okay. Sri Ramakrishna told once when he was suffering from cancer, and he told the doctor, I am not able to sing mother songs. Please cure my throat. Doctor said, why you should sing mother song? You should meditate whole day. Sri Ramakrishna said, why should I meditate whole day? Why should I not do different things for mother? He took a method of description. Vegetables are cooked. Some vegetable sour, some vegetable pungent. He said, why I should not eat all types of vegetables? So, Avyavutta Bhajanat, you understand now. Do anything out of devotion without keeping a circumscribed, without limiting them to a particular time. Now, we question him. All right. But what about our sleep? What about when we are engaged in doing some secular work which is essential for our life? How can we sing the glories of God or do something at that time? For sleep, Narada reply will be, I have not told you to do 24 hours. For all your waking hours, whenever you can, that is what I have told you. And so far as Laukik activities are concerned, you have to do that, I know. So in Sutra 37, Loke api Bhagavad Guna Shravana Kirtanat. Loke api. While you are engaged in secular activities also, you must keep some connection with God. I will refer to a holy tradition in the Belur Math. There you know the sannyasi, sadhu, they themselves dress the vegetables in the morning. Now sadhus have gathered dressing vegetables. Ramakrishna's disciple Swami Premananda has made this arrangement. One sadhu would be sitting and reading the gospel at that time. Your ears are not engaged in cutting vegetables. You can use them for hearing about God. Now this is the days of modern gadgetry. I have seen the lady of a house on the radio. She is putting some devotional songs, and nobody in the house should be disturbed. She should also not be disturbed. She is working in the kitchen with a cordless earphone. Her husband got the agency for a cordless earphone, and she used it for this purpose. She is doing work, but all the time listening to songs. So, with the help of modern gadgetry, when the gadgetry was not there, Preman somebody made this arrangement. With the help of modern gadgetry, it has become very easy. So, Bhagavad Guna Shravana Kirtana, Bhagavad Guna. What are the gunas of God? He is the Srishti Sri Pralay Karta. He is the supremely merciful God. What he is not? You know one shloka from the Mahimna Stotra. Asitagiri samam syat kajjalam sindhu patre surataru shakha lekhani patra murvi लिखति यदि गृहीत्वा सारदा सर्वकालं तदपि तव गुणानाम ईश पारम न याति. The black mountain may be the ink. Let the ocean be the ink pot. Let the branch of the willfully tree be your pen. And let the earth be your paper to write on. And let the goddess of learning write or whole her life. Yet there will be no end to your gunas, O Lord. And Shri Ram Krishna, while singing this, felt that and became intoxicated. So gunas, so many. Ravana, Kirtana. Kirtana now. Some people, ladies, gents, all, they have a habit of humming. You are doing work and you can hum some bhajan, or mentally you can think of something about God. Now here I will tell you one thing. No secular activity requires our 10% attention. No. I'll give you an example. These days, most of the motor drivers, they put on some song while driving the motor. And the other way around, if they do not put on the song, accidents may happen. But when they put on the song, there are no accidents. Why? Suppose 30% or say 60, 70% attention is required for driving the car. Remaining 30% goes throughout the world and it disturbs us. With that remaining 30%, if they listen to this song, it becomes concentrated. So I have given you an example that during worldly activities, now instead of listening to any song, hear devotional songs. Some people I have seen hear pravachanas, recorded pravachanas while driving the car. So this is also Bhagavad Guna Shravan, pravachanas. So loke api Bhagavad Guna Shravana Kirtana. This is number 3. First is Vishayatyagat Sangatyagat. Second is don't keep a limit to your devotional activities. Third, what about when we are engaged in secular activities? There also you can either listen or sing, think you may add about God. Whether it is prose or poetry is your own matter. Now, again one shock Narad is giving. Again two is coming. Terrible shock. Huh? Mukhyatastu. Mukhyatastu. That means, but the main means of achieving bhakti, main means. Narada, if it is the main means, why you did not tell us in the beginning? No, then you would not have done the other means. So Vishaya Tyaga, Sangha Tyaga is essential. Keeping no limit to your devotional activities is essential. And in secular activities also this is essential. But bhakti you will get by Mukyatasu Mahat Krupaya Eva. Bhagavad Kripa Leshatma. The main means of achieving Naradi Bhakti is by the grace of Mahapurushas. By the grace of Mahapurushas, by the grace of people who have realized God. I was telling about Ganeshwar Maharaj Prasadan sometimes. He is asking God, Ishvara Nishta, he says, those who are Nishta to Ishvara. Such people should be available to the entire world, he says. I remember here one conversation. I asked my Guruji once, if a man has no receptivity, we are discussing about Hridayram in Leela Prasanga. If a man has no receptivity, it is useless to stay with a Mahapurush, isn't it? Like that I asked. He replied, unless he stays with a Mahapurush, how is he going to get receptivity? Now this Sangarsha, this friction between our life and Mahapurusha's life is the only means of getting, main means of getting the Bhakti and Naradas. He has put at number 4 because we should not, then we'll keep sitting. Mahapurush will grace us. No. How will he grace you? You are struggling, then only the grace comes. Ramakrishna says the grace is always flowing. You have to raise your sheet in the ship, raise your mast. So, remember now the Narada's method. Tattu Vishaya Tyagat Sangat Tyagat Avyavritta Bhajanat Lokepi Bhagavad Guna Shravana Kirtanat But Mukhyatastu Mahat Krupaya Eva. Now, he has given an alternate there. Mahat Krupaya Eva Bhagavad Kripa Leshadva. Lesha, a particle of Bhagavad Kripa. Now, these people interpret or find meaning in two different ways. Why is that? But this Mahat Kripa is a particle of God's grace on you. That is how they say. But we find certain people, without the Mahapurush Kripa, they have got bhakti. How it has come? Grace of God has come. A particle of the grace of God has come from inside to them. Rare cases, huh? He is not taking this as first. Mahat Kripa eva, only by Mahat Kripa. Or maybe in some rare cases, by, you have seen some cases, suddenly at a particular age, grace of God comes on him and he becomes a devotee. So, Bhagavad Kripa Leshadva. But later on he will tell us that crave for and make attempt for getting Mahapurusha Kripa. We cannot only sit down and say, God grace me, God grace me. If God wants to grace, even a particle of grace is sufficient. But it is Mahapurusha Kripa which you have to seek, Narada will tell us. See Narada's method, though it is main, he does not describe it first because he wants us to do Vishatyag Sangatya and to not limit our bhajan. And even in secular activities, if some mind in God and Sri Krishna used to say when you do your work, 12 annas you give to God and by 4 annas you work. Here some people will say, even with full rupee we are not able to do our worldly duty. And we are asking 4 annas only. Now, our thoughts and our deeds conflict with each other and lot of wastage of energy is there. If we are devoted to God, we get so much power that with 4 annas in mind we can. God is not telling us anything theoretical or impossible. Anyway, so मुख्यतस्तु महत्कृपया एव भगवत कृपा लेशाद्वा. There is a big problem here. How to know a Mahapurush? The fake Mahapurushas are abundant in the world. And if we go to one of them, we are smashed. And that is what happens to millions of people. So how to get this Mahat Sangha? Narada says in 39, again 2 has come. Mahat Sanghastu, but the Sangha here is not attachment, Sangha means association. Krupa will come, but you have to find association with Mahapurushas. Mahat Sanghastu Durlabho is rare in this world. I remember here, the first Sanskrit shloka I learned in my school, in the first standard. Shaile Shailena Manikyam Muktikam na gaje gaje Sadhavo nahi sarvatra chandanam na vane vane. We hear of pearls on the mountains, but every mountain does not have pearls. Some rare mountains will have pearls. And there is a pearl in the head of an elephant. Not all elephants. A few elephants are there with that mukti. Sadhus are not everywhere. All forests are not made of sandalwood. This I remembered, that this thing is rare. Durlabho, difficult to get means rare. And another funny thing, suppose we get one Mahapurush, how to understand that he is a Mahapurush? Take Mahapurushes, people are attracted. But to understand a Mahapurush, how will you understand him? I'll tell you a funny story here. There was one Bengali devotee in Nagpur, Ananda Chatterjee was his name. He could have taken Mantri Diksha from Swami Vivekananda. But he said he is not a Brahmin, so I will not take Diksha from him. Then Swami Brahmananda was available. He is also not a Brahmin, so I will not take. Then Mahapurush Maharaj went to Nagpur. People told he was a Brahmin. He said, but he is Brahmagya or not, I do not know. So Ananda Chatterjee remained without initiation. Now how to know? Agamya. Agamya means difficult to understand, to know that he is a Mahapurush. Then Amoghascha. Amog. Amog means unfallible. Suppose you get a Mahapurush, suppose you recognize him, then your life is made up. Unfallible is his grace. Amog. In the Chandogya Upanishad we get this. Acharyavan Purusho Veda. One who has got a Mahapurush, a Guru, has won the race, though it takes some more time. So, About Mahapurushas, Narada is telling, but Mahapurushas are very rare. And even if you get one, it is difficult to understand them. There are methods. In Swamiji's Bhakti Yoga, he says that to understand one's Guru, people say, we are not higher than the Guru. How we have to judge the Guru? That is not at all necessary. Swamiji there, in a one chapter says, I will tell you now the Lakshanas of the Guru, test for a Guru. And he starts telling the test of the disciple and then tells the test of a Guru. Remember this very important thing. If you have these basic characteristics, you will know the Guru. If the Shishya has purity of mind, first of all it is. If Shishya has a genuine search for God, Shishya has the patience to practice sadhana, what the Guru has told him, then he will automatically, he will get the Guru. In the Christian terminology, a seeking sinner meeteth the seeking Savior. The terminology you understand. Sinner means a sadhak there. And is seeking a Guru. And the Savior or the Guru is seeking him. So a seeking sinner meets a seeking Savior. If you are sincere, the Guru will come. That will Narada will tell it. So, Swamiji has told if you have purity, if you are sincerely seeking God, there Swamiji says, sometimes out of emotion, we seek God. Some friend or some dear one has died, we think of God. That will not do. If you are seeking for God is genuine and if you have patience to practice, very important thing. I remember one incident. I was in Rishikesh, 78, 79. I was standing near the bank of the Ganges. Some two young men came, going and asked me, have you got Guru? I said, yes. Have you realized God? I said, no. Then you have not got the Guru. I said, if Guru has shown me the way and I am walking on, no, that is not Guru. Guru should give knowledge that point. Such people will never get Mahapurushes. One term I heard in Maharashtra and through Shaktipat. The Guru does something and the Shishya realizes. God forbid. You become weak, a puppet in the hand of that man. You are not good God realization. The Maharashtrian saint Samartha Ramdas Swami has something to tell about us, about this. I will tell in Marathi and then I will translate. शिष्यास न करविती साधन ऐसे गुरु अडक्याचे तीन मिळाले तरी टाकावे. Those gurus who do not make Shishya do sadhana, if you get three such gurus for half a price, throw them away. If you get three such gurus for half a price, in those days, naya paisa, not naya paisa, huh? What paisa? 64 paisa in a rupee. Half a paisa also coin was there. If you get such three gurus, half a paisa, throw away. But this is the wrong thing in the disciple's mind. And then he discusses what are the qualities of the Guru. Guru should be absolutely pure. There should be no motive in him except loving you. Why does he give knowledge? Not for money, not for big people, not for this or that. Because he loves you, so he gives you knowledge. There should be no other motive. He should be sinless. And he should know the spirit of the scriptures. Not that he has well read the scriptures, he has memorized the scriptures, he can interpret it several ways. No. He should know the spirit of the scriptures. These three things he is told about the Mahapurushas there. If you are a real disciple, you will recognize them. And you will get them. About getting them is telling in another sutra. So, Durlabho, Agamyo, Amoghascha. Once you get in, infallible is His grace on your life. I will read one more. Labhyate api tat krupaya eva. You will become dejected. Durlabho agama. Then you will get it, you will get it by His grace, by God's grace. Now this has some special meaning. We will take it only in the next class. Huh? So we are read up to Sutra 39 today, starting from 34. 6 sutras were read. The second chapter consists of 22 sutras, 12 in the first section, 5 in the second and 5 in the third. Anyway, so we are indebted to Narada to show us the way, and is showing without any doubt or difficulty, with guarantee, he will lead us to our goal of life. We should not be worried about that. Narada has told you will get the correct guru. When these things grow in you, you will get the correct guru. By the grace of God, he says. Because I told you, bhakti itself is from God only. God's nature is such that He is pulling all of us. And if we want to be pulled, you will get a guru also. Om Jayati Jagati Maya Yasya Kaya Davaste Vachana Rachana Mekam Kevalam Chakalaya Drupadamapi Yato Yat Krupato Dhruvoyam Sakala Kushala Patram Brahmaputram Natosmi Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanam.